In this video I brought together a few interesting Leatherman accessories that I thought you might like to see, starting with this, the Leatherman Adapt Kit. Now this was released quite recently and I do find the name a little bit odd because this is not what I would describe as a kit. This is actually what I would describe as a mini tool case. And by mini, if I look at the dimensions, this is 8.3 inches by 6 inches by 4 inches in depth, and it weighs 14.4 ounces. Now on the outside we have a hard wearing 500D recycled nylon shell, and then we have a grab handle on the top and reinforced bar tack stitching so it can take some weight. And we have 1, 2, 3 AquaGuard zips, with the main ones having double zippers and all with nice zip pulls. The base here is flat, so this will sit upright, and then we have 2 open pockets, one on each side. And I'm not sure if this is where Leatherman expects you to put your multi-tool, but I'd be a little bit nervous about it falling out. It will though take pretty much any size of multi-tool, although something like the skelly tool is a bit loose and a surge sits high and is a bit tight. The arc fits okay, but the best fit goes to the good old Leatherman Wave. We have a quick access zip pocket on the back with a bit of volume, and then we have 2 main openings. The one at the back opens fully to reveal the main compartment, which is really well padded with a ripstop polyester lining, and we also have a pocket at the back. Then we have a couple of stretchy pockets in the lid and another zip pocket, which is also AquaGuard, presumably more for looks. The main pocket at the front also opens fully to reveal a silicone tray, and that makes this rather unique. We also have a bunch of elasticated loops. The silicone tray is removable and is a nice addition and will be appreciated by those used to taking things apart and wanting somewhere to keep screws and other small parts safe. And it also creates a mini work surface. The elasticated loops are ideal for holding a variety of cables and tools, which could also include your multi-tool. And then finally we have a pen loop at the top here. Now this cost me £75, and I see in the US you can get it for $70. So you are paying a bit of a premium here, but this is great quality and it does have some unique features, and on balance I really like this. You don't see too many compact tool cases around, and this one has been well thought out and has the structure and the padding to be able to hold some heavy items. Now I'm currently in the process of putting together a compact tool kit which I can grab for jobs around the house or keep in the van when away. And when it comes to a carry case, this will definitely be on the short list. Now, if you prefer to carry your Leatherman in something a bit smaller than the Adapt Kit, but with a bit more on offer than the standard Leatherman Sheath, then have a look at the Leatherman Tool Pouch. This is built in partnership with PackSafe, who make quality travel gear, and it's made from a durable ripstop nylon, again with a YKK weatherproof zip. It's padded, it's got a hanging loop and some webbing on the back so you can attach this to a belt or a pack. And there's a lot of organisation in here with 8 pockets to choose from. We have a full width pocket at the back, and attached to that we have 2 pockets, the larger of which seems to be designed for your multi-tool. And we can see it here with the skelly tool, a wave, an arc and a surge. And the smaller pocket next to it will fit something more like a 2-layer Victorinox. Then we have the main large compartment, which could be left empty if the other pockets are packed full, or alternatively could be used for bulkier items if needed. And at the front we have another full width pocket, and attached to that we have 3 smaller pockets, one of which nicely takes the double bit kit, and the other 2 are the ideal size for the Ratchet Driver and something like a bit extender, or perhaps a pen or 2. Now I would have preferred the zip to go further down the sides so the pouch opens wider for better access, but this way will, I expect, add strength to the pouch if it's very full, so I can see why they've chosen to do it like this. This one cost me £30 and I see it's $30 in the US, which I think is fine for the quality on offer, and I would say this is a great option if you plan to carry a compact but functional Leatherman based toolkit. This is the EDC Ratchet Wrench from 711L and is designed for use with Leatherman's flat bit driver. 711L are based in Taiwan, which in my experience is a pointer to great quality, and they usually make their products available on Amazon in the US. And we have here not one but 2 versions of the wrench. The first one is small and simple. It's a tiny 1/4 inch ratchet wrench which feels really well made with a precision 60 tooth ratchet mechanism and a simple lever to reverse the direction. It takes the standard huge range of 1/4 inch bits, and if you're like me you'll have loads of those already, and that means it will also take the Leatherman flat bits too. Now this is described as a wrench rather than a screwdriver, and that makes sense as it's hard to apply forward pressure to say a tight Phillips screwdriver with this configuration, and you'd also have to be able to get in really close as well. So this is more intended for socket type bits or hex bits or Torx bits, and then you get the benefit of the increased torque you get with a wrench. The second version is called the Flex Head EDC wrench, and this one has the benefit of an adjustable head angle. A button on the side releases a lock which allows the head to pivot a full 180 degrees, and this means it can be used more like a screwdriver if needed and allows the application of more forward force, and it can get into tighter spaces too. And again, when used as a wrench you can apply a lot more torque than you could with an inline bit driver. Now both of these are small, but the basic version is smaller with a bit less bulk, and both have a flat end for use with Leatherman's proprietary bit driver, and there's also a hole in the end so you can, if you want, carry it on a keyring. And when it comes to price, you're looking around £30 to £40 or dollars. Now with Leatherman's bit driver in mind, it's probably worth mentioning a couple of accessories that have been around for some time that are worth considering. The first is the simple 1/4 inch bit extender, and this obviously gives you more reach so you can get your Leatherman bit driver into tighter spaces, and this makes a huge difference in practical use. And this also has the added benefit that you can use standard 1/4 inch bits with this as well as the bespoke Leatherman flat bits, giving you more choice and more capability. And this works with the ratchet wrench we've just seen. It means you can easily apply more forward force and use it more like a screwdriver, as well as getting into tighter spaces. This one cost me £14 and is roughly the same in dollars, and is from a company called Galvanox. Now Leatherman do have a branded version which costs around £10 or dollars more, but I figured there wasn't a lot to go wrong here. And if you have a bit more money to spend, £35 or dollars to be precise, then you could do a lot worse than investing in Leatherman's own ratchet bit driver. This is another 1/4 inch bit extender, but this time we have a ratchet mechanism built in to what is a very compact form factor. We also have forward and reverse, and it also locks. And this is really aimed at those who get a lot of use from their Leatherman screwdriver, and if that is you, then this is well worth a look. The Leatherman pocket clip and lanyard loop is also worth a mention at this point. Really affordable at around £8 or dollars, and that's for the two. And it's designed for the Leatherman wave, surge or charge, and a no-brainer if you carry your wave or charge outside of the case. Now the pocket clip easily slots into a ready-made location on the multi-tool and is held in place using the inbuilt tool lock, which means it's easy to remove as well. And this I found works really well on the wave and is rock solid and ideal for belt carry too, although for some reason it's actually wobbly on the surge and doesn't work as well, and I personally think the surge is probably too heavy for this anyway. As for the charge, well, I don't own one of those, but I imagine it fits like it does on the wave. And if you like the idea of a lanyard loop, and a big one at that, you get this in the box too, which fits in the same place as the pocket clip, again offering a better fit on the wave than the surge. Here's a nice addition to your bit driver equipped Leatherman. It is a tungsten carbide glass breaker bit and is available separately from Leatherman and costs £5.50 or $5. So this end here is designed to break toughened glass, and there's also a basic 1/4 inch width flathead screwdriver bit on the opposite end. And this is a great option for paramedics or first responders who might find themselves needing to get someone out of a car or building in an emergency. Also, if you carry your Leatherman in your car, then to me this seems like the bit to have ready in place, which could potentially help you escape or help another motorist. Here it is shown in the Skeletal, of which there's actually a version available with the glass breaker already included. And there's not much you can buy for £5 or dollars that could potentially save a life. And to me, this seems like a very worthwhile addition to any Leatherman kit. When it comes to pouches and holsters, the nylon version supplied with most Leathermans does a great job. And this Surge I have here comes with a pouch with pockets for bit kits and tools, which makes for a very compact toolkit. If though you want to carry something with arguably a bit more style that will last a lifetime, then Tale of Knives, based in Oregon in the US, is a great place to look. And if you don't know them already, they have a large range of leather-based everyday carry options. And my preference is for something like this one. This is the standard Jack's T-Tux clip, and I prefer the clip we see here instead of the two belt slots, as it keeps the overall width down to a minimum and also allows you to put it on and take it off your belt without having to remove it. Now the website clearly shows what each sheath is designed to hold, and this one is made for various tools and knives, including the skelly tool I have in here. We also have a section here for a torch or a flashlight, and I found that can be on the tight size, so consider going up a size for easier access, especially if the light has a pocket clip so it can't fall out the bottom here, or like this one in here is wider at the top than the bottom. And then on the front we also have a useful pen space, and in here I have a Big Idea Design mini dual side click pen made out of titanium, which is one of my favourite shorter pens, and it's the perfect size to fit in here. And this piece of leather used here to form the pen slot has a dual purpose because it stops the sheath folding in half where the tool meets the flashlight, and that maintains the overall shape of the sheath. And it's that sort of attention to detail that makes a difference in real world use. Now the quality of the leather and stitching is top notch, and everything is handmade individually in the US. And of course that quality and attention to detail doesn't come cheap, so expect to pay upwards of $100. Then I have one more sheath I wanted to try, and this is from Leatherman, although I did purchase it from Amazon, and it was actually pretty affordable at £16, which is around $16 plus tax. This is the Leatherman Molle sheath, and it's available in two sizes, large and extra large, and this one is the extra large, and externally it measures 5.75 inches long, 2 inches wide and 1.5 inches in depth, and the large one is just half an inch shorter. Now, as you might have guessed from the description, this is Molle compatible for use with PALS webbing to attach this pouch to packs and various body worn gear, but it will also attach to a standard belt if that's your preference. Now it does have a rather unusual wedge shaped design, which does make anything in here easy to grab because it's wider at the top, and it has large elasticated holders on each side that will easily take a fat finger or perhaps a decent sized pocket flashlight. And there is also a pocket on the inside, and that's for a Leatherman bit kit, although the pocket is not elasticated, so you won't get more than one bit holder in here. And I'm not sure which particular Leatherman this is aimed at, but it easily swallows a Surge. A Wave or an Arc look a bit lost in here, and the skelly tool positively rattles about. And this is the XL version, but even the large version at just half an inch shorter would easily accommodate any of these too. So there's plenty of room in here, and with no other partitions apart from the bit kit pocket, you'll have to be wary of more than one tool sharing the space and getting bashed about. Perhaps the design here is all about being able to grab a multi-tool easily in a hurry. Finally, this flap closes securely with a very large Velcro panel, not, it has to be said, designed with stealth in mind. So in short, a well-made and large sheath for any Leatherman, and a few other bits as well, aimed squarely, I would say, at those who need a sheath which is Molle compatible. And I would say the large size rather than this extra large size is likely to be more than big enough for most. This next one is rather an odd one. It's called Volty, and it's the product of what appears to be a PC repair shop based in Minneapolis called PC Doodle, although the sales, it seems, comes from their sister company, which is called PC Poodle. Now, Volty comes in two versions, but I only realised this when I bought the wrong one, and this is it. It's called the Volty Bit, and it's a DC voltmeter that fits in your Leatherman flat bit driver, and it can test DC voltages from 2.5 volts to 30 volts, so something like a car battery or say a lithium flashlight battery, but not a AA battery, which is only 1.5 volts. And that's a bit of a shame, because it would be really useful to be able to test standard AA and AAA batteries. Now, to understand this best, it would be easier to show you it in action. So you put Volty in the bit holder on your Leatherman and angle another tool so you can touch both contact points, and that way you have a test circuit. And here it is in a Leatherman arc being used to test a lithium ion battery. Now, there is a green LED in here to represent tens of volts, a yellow for single digit volt readings, and a red for tenths of a volt. So we see 3 flashes of the yellow, which it seems happens to combine with the red, and that means 3 volts, and then 3 red solo flashes, and that means 0.3 of a volt. So this has read 3.3 volts. Now, this basic version of Volty does not require a battery, and it has reverse polarity protection, and it also has gold-plated contact surfaces, and the electronics are encapsulated in epoxy. The version I should have got is called the Volty Switch, which looks the same, albeit with the addition of a tiny switch. And this one is much more useful because it can test for low voltage AC as well as DC, and also continuity, so great for testing things like fuses. It also has EMF detection, which means you can tell if a cable has power running through it just by holding it against the cable, which again is very useful. And it can also rather randomly measure temperature too. And this version does have a battery inside, which can be charged from whatever battery you are testing. So it's all a bit strange, really. It came with no instructions other than how to file a bit off the side if the fit is a bit tight for your Leatherman. And sure enough, it fits the arc fine, but the wave will need a bit of fettling. And there is some information on the website about how to read the flashing LEDs, which looks like this. And there's also the odd video on YouTube showing it in action too. But PC Doodle or Poodle don't make it that easy. Having said that, this seems pretty well made, and you will know straight away if this is the sort of thing that's right for you. And if it's not, and it's all a bit of a mystery, then it probably makes sense to stay clear. And remember, this is for low voltage testing only. The Volty I have here cost me £20, which is not at all bad, plus £15 shipping to the UK, which is not at all good. And in the US, it costs $25. And the Volty Switch, which would be my preference, comes in at about twice as much. And with Leatherman in mind, if you've not seen the Arc close-up or the Garage number 5, then you might want to check out one of these 2 videos right here. There we have it. I hope that's been useful, and thanks for watching.